Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Boy, you gonna let me drive that, right?
Maybe. What's up, guys? Roddy here, and today I am driving a 2015 Volkswagen Golf GTi. Super excited because I am not a big Volkswagen guy, and so it's cool to be in a 2.0 turbo car, German car. Driveway slowly. So yes, 2015 Volkswagen Golf GTi. Even though it is front-wheel drive, Volkswagen has really done a good job of getting rid of turbo lag, but also almost nearly eliminating the torque steer in this car. This car is a bolt-on car. It's not a huge, like, out there tons of power, some kind of crazy insane car. But one thing that I do like is the fact that it's got a really nice ECS boost gauge in here, which in this car you really do need. This car has a tune on it, and this tune kind of gives this car really a lot of what it needs to wake it up. I'm trying to get that sun out of here, but it's not going to happen, so I may have to talk like this. But yeah, this car from the factory makes about 210 horsepower, but it's got like tons of torque. So it's got like 258, just say 250, 260 pound-feet of torque. However, this vehicle that I'm driving, this particular 2015, has, of course, a downpipe, and then it has a full Catback exhaust in it, as well as short throw shifter. It's really surprising. So I guess let's talk about the things that I really I'm iffy about on this car. I guess you can say I don't like them. One is the seating position. It's really hard for me to get in a comfortable seating position. I'm not saying that it's bad or anything like that, but when you're used to Miatas like I am, this car kind of sits up a little taller, which if you've ever watched any of my reviews, you know I don't particularly like that. It's not an uncomfortable position, it's just a position that I would rather not be in. It's almost, I feel like I'm driving like a van or something. There's also this clutch. This is a stock clutch, and the catch point in the clutch, it's super soft, which is not a terrible thing. It doesn't wear your leg out, but it's just like trying to find where it catches is a little difficult. Probably if I owned this vehicle, or I would encourage anyone who's considering one of these or that drives one of these, I would put a little different clutch, maybe like a stage 1 or 2. Stage 2 might be too much, but if you're going to lightly modify it like this car, it definitely needs, I think it needs a little bit thicker clutch feel, because it definitely makes shifting a little hard, stop and go wise. This has an APR tune on it. The APR tune is super nice on this car. Don't know how much horsepower this car is rated at, but it definitely, it's quick. Without a doubt, it's quick, for not just for a front-wheel drive car, for a car in general. This would be a great daily car, especially in this form. It's not on coils, it's on HR springs. Of course, this is the Autobahn edition, so it's got all the fancy leather and navigation and all that kind of stuff in there. So you really have to like that. And then, of course, 2.0 turbo. So talk about this exhaust a little bit. It is a little droney in this car. And that's saying a lot, being that this car is so well insulated. It is a German car, so it has all that German refinement in it. And you know, it's got great sound deadening or sound cancellation stuff all in it. This exhaust on this car is it's a really good Catback exhaust. I looked it up, I didn't know what it was, but it's a super duper nice exhaust. But however, it's pretty droney, and but it definitely gives the car a lot more character. I've seen and heard other exhausts and heard this car in other shapes and fashions, and they do sound a little bit like a blender slash weed eater. I saw David Patterson said that his buddy sounded like a blender. I said weed eater, so it's got that four-cylinder kind of cringe to it. Not quite a Honda, but no offense, Honda. The car just feels super good. It feels light on its feet, and even though it's not a super lightweight car, it's still pretty light, and you definitely can see why the GTi is known as the hot hatch, and this car definitely lets you know it. As I was coming up to this stop sign, I will tell you this: driving Miatas, you're used to kind of staying in that higher RPM, which is fine in this car too, because you are making boost in those higher RPMs. However, versus like in a Miata, I can kind of roll in second gear and kind of almost come to a stop and still kind of roll out of that second gear. This car you cannot. It definitely likes for you to kind of keep it up in those RPMs. So if you're in second gear and you try to give it some gas, or you're in any gear and you're too low and it's reading kind of low on the RPM band, you're going to run into the fact that it's going to try to die on you. One thing I can say that I really like about the car is the fact that it looks good to me. I'm not crazy about this blue color. It's not a bad color. It's just kind of navy blue looking to me. And then the stripe, the red stripe that goes through it, is supposed to be like ooh aggressive and sporty, but I feel like it's very ricer almost. It's like this car wasn't meant to be like flashy. There's no big wings on it. It's no, you know, it's meant to be that subtle, fun hatchback that's got that sporty kind of racer feel. So we don't need things like that in there. If you go one way or the other, Volkswagen, come on, give or take. But aside from that, I can live with it because it doesn't look bad. I don't prefer it. But for me, this car looks really good. I do like the power a lot, and I do like the fact that they have really paid attention to taking away the drawbacks of driving front-wheel drive cars, especially front-wheel drive cars that make decent amounts of power, and that's that torque steer or the turbo lag. Those things, they're concerning. And instead of just going for huge horsepower numbers, Volkswagens went the other direction, saying we're kind of sticking with what we've got because it's not broke, don't fix it kind of deal. But they did fix what needed to be addressed. So yeah, even though I've got traction control on and I'm getting on it and I'm just playing with it, it's flashing at me because obviously I'm losing traction. But it's still the steering wheel's not going nuts, it's not going crazy, and it just makes such good noise. So I can tell you this about suspension: I do like the fact that this car is on springs and not coils. Usually I wouldn't say that. However, I think with front wheel drive it works, and I think with this car, the setup that it's going for, I think that the guy had in mind, hey, let's set this up as a reasonable, doable daily. It's got plenty of power. You can have a blast in it no matter what day of the week it is that you drive it. You do have to be careful because it out accelerates your thinking, because you think I'm not going that fast, and then you're going 70 or 80 miles an hour. So you do have to be careful of that. But it rides really well. It's really smooth. I don't bottom out. Even though it's got a lip on it and everything else, and it's got the performance pack and all that kind of stuff, it's not beating me up. It doesn't drive bad at all. It actually drives drives really, really good. And then on top of that, like I said, I never bottom out. Even though it feels super low and looks super low, it looks really good, the setup that it's at. I just think if I had a vehicle like this, I would do it exactly like that. I would go for that clean look that this car has. New speed wheels with a light tune on it, a little boost gauge so you can see when you go in boost, because you don't have that and you need to know on this car. A decent exhaust coming out the back, the downpipe, and just be done with it. You can pick one of these up fairly reasonable for around about 20 grand with decent miles on it. It's just a super nice car that I feel like rides and drives really well. It feels like it's put together really well. It doesn't feel like it's something that is just miserable, or you know, that it doesn't just feel like something that is a chore to drive. It's super easy that you could take on long trips and all that kind of stuff. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for watching this review of the 2015 Golf GTi. Never ever gotten into one of these. It's super awesome to be back doing videos. It's super awesome to be doing my first ever Volkswagen, and I'll see you soon. Remember guys, stay awesome.